Welcome back, everybody. Today I have the NECA Deluxe Kaiju Scunner from Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim film. Now, I jumped on this as soon as I saw it. Few of the last Pacific Rim figures I've been kind of late or lacking on getting. I'm still actually missing Cherno Alpha and, who was it, Coyote Tango, but, I'm not really a fan of Coyote. Even in the film, we didn't see him that much, but as a figure, as just a Jaeger itself, just don't really seem like a big fan of it, and I was really hoping to actually make this line of figures one of the first that I am able to get every single figure. But if I don't like a figure, if I don't like a character, I'm not going to subject myself to get it just to have a complete collection. But this review is focused on Scunner himself or herself, and let's take a look at the outside packaging. So as far as it being a deluxe figure, I'm not sure. Actually, I don't really see any changes in the packaging itself. I think it's just a deluxe figure for it being out of a set wave release. And, it's still just awesome quality as usual. The huge bubble packaging. You can see it. Sorry, it's a little bit big for my camera, but Pacific Rim, you still can't see it, but it shows Pacific Rim at the top there. You see the full body Scunner. At the bottom, it shows a little headshot of Scunner saying Kaiju Scunner with the Gypsy Danger logo. I think that's Gypsy Danger, unless it's just all the Jaeger logos, the usual warning sign. And that's what I love about NECA's packaging too with this Pacific Rim line. You really do see the entire figure, or the figure in its entirety, and you're not really clueless as to what you're going to get. There's the side. And here in the back you can see again Scunner, a more full body photo. And at the bottom it says collect them all, showing the other kaijus, including Leatherback, the Deluxe or Battle Damage Knife Head, which I actually thought it said Battle Damage on the other packages. I don't have any close for me right now to check, but it also says the Deluxe Trespasser. And on the far right it shows Deluxe Axe Head coming soon. Sorry if you guys see a little glare, but Axe Head really looks a lot like Trespasser. I know that's a little bit of a controversy that the fans were having with this release of figures. I know it's mainly a lighter color, but overall, all I can really notice the difference is the back, that little hump or the little armor that they have. Other than that, from the concept, it looks pretty much the same, so I'm not quite sure how the final product will be, but again, we'll find out when it is released. And let's go ahead and open up Scunner and take a look at all his... Alrighty, here we have Scunner out of his packaging, and this thing is just like all the other kaijus that NECA has been coming out with. It is heavy, it is full of detail, and this thing is just a beast as the kaijus should be looking. Off the bat, you can definitely tell differences other than the obvious, the head. There are differences from the other kaijus in the line, not just from the film, but also NECA's line of figures. There are a few things that I wish NECA would have done a little bit different, but let's jump right into the figure itself. As you can see, as all the other kaiju figures have, the glowing vein stripes, glowing paint, whatever you want to call them, all throughout the body, just down the arms right here, up on the shoulders, now on his head as well, at the top, in the horns, down the sides of his cheek, on the chest, doesn't seem, and on the back as well, right here, just down a little bit on the tail, as well as on the back, or the side of the thighs. So Scunner, you can obviously tell the huge head difference. Similar to Knife Head, I guess, you have the horns or the bones that come out. Right here you can see they are actually pretty sharp, they're just the same rubber material. They're not like the bones that they put on the back here. But, the head sculpt is absolutely amazing. I mean, this thing just looks scary right off the bat. The eye is kind of like a hammerhead shark. It's incredible, and all the detail in the mouth as well. Let me get that back into focus. The teeth here, you can actually feel the ridges and, a few sharper teeth than others from the molding, but it's just incredible. And you can see up here all the fine detail, the eyes. Actually the only issue I've really spotted with this figure, it seems there was a little paint miss right here. I'm not sure if that was intentional or they just, maybe it rubbed against something when it was drying. But, you know, it's really not that big of a deal. You can't really, I actually didn't notice when I was picking up the package, and I didn't notice until now when it was out of the package. So, nothing really a big issue. You can see the detail in the eyes, the chin, the horns right there. This side as well. I really love how they made this such a good indent or a good deepening in here. You know, it really gives depth to the figure and really shows a lot of detail and a lot of focus to the actual character or the kaiju from the film. Going over the entire body sculpt, it is generally the same as the rest of the kaijus. You know, you have this major upper torso, you have the armor plating or this back with the bone sticking out. This one is slightly different. I have the battle damage knife head right here, and as you can see, it's basically the same, but you know, if you pay close enough attention, there are differences. Like I was saying with the this armor backpack that you want to call, this one, these horns are bigger. The overall, it's kind of, I would say almost the same size, just a little bit different shaped. And then right here, you know, more rounded on this one, more pointed on knife head. And then looking at the tail as well, let me get that in the view. The tail is also different. You can see on knife head, it's just the one, you know, going into almost like a flame shape, while here it's kind of like threads or hooks and grapples on Scunner. And the obvious, you know, the paint differences. Scunner's a little bit more brown with the blue stripes. The hands as well, they both have the 3 fingers, but on Scunner, his are a little more, I guess, condensed and bulky, while knife heads are spread out, larger, longer. But Scunner does have the longer nails, and again, the same darker and harder plastic, which again has the points, so be careful with that. The body is different as well. You know, a lot of people think they are using the same molds, but if you look, actually, I mean, you can feel the different textures, you can actually see the different shapes, as well as with the other kaijus in the line too. I don't have them right now to compare, but they are all basically different. I mean, you know, the legs are a little bit the same. The arms, let me check the arms. I think the arms might be a little bit the same as well. But overall, you know, there is enough for them to not use the exact same molds for every single figure. The one problem I do see with Scunner, though, as I just showed you with Knifehead, he is smaller than Knifehead. I mean, with the size difference. I mean, in the movie, it seemed like Scunner was this big, bad, you know, one of the biggest kaijus they've had, even bigger than Knifehead. But looking at him here, he's just, I mean, he's short, bulky, almost, I'd say about leatherback height. And again, you know, of course, leatherback is mainly hunched on his forearms. But I do wish Scunner was taller, considering the price increase and it being a deluxe kaiju as well. I was expecting it to be even more likeness to the film. But nonetheless, it is just a fantastic figure, fantastic detail, fantastic quality. NECA really never does disappoint with me. You know, I don't really have bias towards them. It's just they've always been my preference. I guess that would be bias, but they've always been my preference. I've never been a fan of, or a huge fan of Mezco and McFarlane. So, you know, NECA really is the one that steps up and gives me or gives fans what they want. So now getting back into the figure, the one cool thing I was able to get is, as we saw in the film, Scunner was swimming through the ocean. So with this figure, you can actually get him in a almost swimming pose, which is actually really cool. If I can just get this arm up in the right way. I had it right the first time. But anyway, you get the idea. You can basically get him into a more swimming pose as opposed to the other kaijus. And that works really great because he was really known for swimming in the ocean and trying to stop the bomb from getting into the portal and all that. So I really like how you can get him, just play around with him. And I had him in a good position at one point, but you know, he seems a little bit more flexible, a little more poseable than the others. Doesn't just have to be fixed in one position, but again, just really cool, really great figure. And again, you have the bendy wire in the tail, help him pose. The one major difference I did see also in this figure was the different shoulder pads on his shoulders. You know, all the other kaijus didn't have anything on his shoulders, it was just open. But here they added these rubber shoulder pads that, you know, you can flex them a little bit enough to look underneath. And without it, he looks even more like the other kaijus. So it's really cool that they added this feature, and it looks like I can't tell if they attached it to the backbone or it goes underneath, because I guess it kind of goes a little bit both. Ah, here we go. So it is attached to the actual backpack armor pad, bone, whatever you want to call it. And as you can see, it just comes up right here, comes up underneath the horns, and it's attached or molded to that too, and they attach it as all one piece. So that's really cool. I think it looks really unique, really different, and Scunner has been one of the favorites and most requested kaiju. So I'm a fan of that. You know, I really like what they did with that. Before I forget, let's get right into the articulation. So the head, good swivel movement. Slight, not too far up. This is about as high as you can get it. Let me get the camera a little bit higher so you can see that. But it also doesn't go down too much. You can twist it fairly well. The mouth doesn't seem to open as much as others, but still good enough to get him, you know, in that open position. And it's pretty stiff, so you know, you don't have to worry about it falling over or falling open over time. The shoulders move up, forward and back. They are slightly hindered, but because this is a very flexible rubber, you know, you can still get him pretty far up and pretty far in. At the elbows do slightly twist. They are a little tight and do the shoulders, and then the wrists are on almost like a ball joint. They can't go too far in and out. Then the smaller arms, you know, like usual, they go up, down, in, out. And no really elbow joint right here, just attached at the ribs, and then the wrist as well, going in, out, around. The ab crunch is very limited on this guy. I mean, it doesn't even seem like it's supposed to go back and forth, but you know, you do have a good rotation. And the legs do go out, in, up, out, twist. Same at the knees, they twist as well and go back and forth. And the feet have very good articulation. You know, these legs, they're not loose, but you know, they have very good mobility, and you don't really have to struggle with this guy. And then the lower, oh yeah, it's the same part up there. And as I showed earlier, the bendy wire or the flexi wire in the tail. So here we have it, guys and gals. Thank you for everyone watching. Hope you all enjoyed the video review today of the latest NECA Pacific Rim figure. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on my videos, and subscribe and like all my pages. I have the YouTube and Facebook page, as well as my personal Twitter and Instagrams. And be sure to check out Lindsay's Toy Room for all your NECA needs. See everyone later.